Hi all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Olly and this is Simply Stitchy, and this is part 2 in a series I was doing on how to do applique with Wonder Under. Now if you watched the first video, I'll put a link in the description box and on the end screen for you. We got as far as putting the Wonder Under on the back of each of the pattern pieces. Now the one thing that I mentioned in the last video was the way you use Wonder Under is you get your piece of fabric and you iron the rough side of the Wonder Under to your fabric, then you put your pattern piece on the Wonder Under fabric mix and then you cut out the pieces, and what that gives you is it gives you a shape that's completely covered on the back with the Wonder Under. And the benefit of that is it acts as a stabiliser. So unlike on my shapes here, you don't get quite so much of the frayed edges that I've got. Now the reason why I cut the pieces out first was because I was going to use my usual method of applique, which is Needle Turn Applique. To keep the pieces in one place while I'm doing that is I'll just stick a safety pin in the middle of it and just hold it as I stitch round. But what I thought would be a good thing to do for this project is actually test out this Wonder Under to see if it would make my life any easier. Unfortunately, because I'd already cut the pieces out first, I made my life difficult. So if you haven't already started this project, make sure you put the Wonder Under on your fabric first, because it will make life a lot simpler. What I've had to do is make the Wonder Under just a little bit smaller than my actual pattern pieces. Now there's two reasons why I've done that. The first reason was because as I was sticking it to the back of these pieces, it was actually sticking to everything else that was underneath because it was hanging out over the edges. And the second reason is because I still might actually want to do the needle turn method when I come to stick these to the backing fabric. And in order to do that, I want to be able to turn the edges of the fabric under. Now you don't have to do that. Like I say, if you go straight to the edge of the pieces with the Wonder Under, there's no need to turn the fabric under. But I actually like the look of a neatly folded edge, so that's why I'm going to be doing it that way, probably. You never know, knowing me, I might yet still change my mind. Anyway, if we go back to the pattern that I chose, it's this pattern. It was designed by Carol Swift for Thermoweb, and it's on the ilovequiltingforever.com website. Links are in the description box below. Now you'll notice from the picture the designer has used quite a few reds. You've got red border, you've got red sashing in between the blocks there. Yeah, I don't have very many solid colours in red. In fact, I don't have many red fabrics at all. So I'm going to be swapping the colours out a little bit in order to make the table runner. And I know from the get-go I am not going to be able to get this done in time for Christmas. But the great thing about patterns, quilting patterns, sewing patterns, whatever kind of patterns, they're more of a guideline to show you. My cat's just fallen off a box, sorry about that. You alright? Yeah, the patterns actually show you a guideline or an idea of what the design can look like. You don't have to stick to that. You can actually swap it out for whatever colours that you want to put together to make your table runner. In fact, you don't even have to do the borders or the sashing. You can just put the blocks straight together. It's completely up to you. That's the whole joy of sewing. You can really embrace your creativity, and that's one of the reasons why at the end of all my videos I do say that. Embrace your creativity and have fun. What we're going to do now in today's video is we're going to start putting the applique pieces together. The absolute first thing that we're going to need to do is prepare the backing fabric. Now if you refer to your pattern, it'll tell you in the instructions how big your backing piece needs to be. Now obviously that's going to change depending on what kind of design you're going to be doing. So with my backing fabric and the pattern, it says that I need to cut a 12.5 by 12.5 square to be able to fit the poinsettias and the little gnome. So that's what we're going to do next. Now, to cut out the backing pieces, what I'm going to be using is a cutting mat, a rotary cutter and quilting rulers. Now, quilting rulers come in all sorts of different shapes. You can get ones for Dresden plates, you can get big square ones and little square ones. And what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description box to where you can get all these gadgets. Now, when it comes to rotary cutters, make sure you get one that's got a retractable blade because they're a little bit safer. Now, when you use them, you can lock the blade in place and then make sure that you unlock it again when you've finished. All of the links are going to be Amazon links. I'm an Amazon affiliate. Buying through those links won't cost you any extra, but I do get a little bit of commission on each purchase made through those links, and it does help me out and support the channel, and I appreciate it. So please use the links if you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. There's no obligation. You can just Google rotary cutters, quilting rulers and cutting mats, and you'll be able to find those things for yourselves. When you use a rotary cutter, the first thing that you need to be aware of is your ruler goes on the bit that you want to keep, your rotary cutter goes on the side that you want to cut off. Push down on the ruler to hold it straight, lock your blade and just follow the line of the ruler. Keep your hands well out of the way, obviously, you don't want to chop your fingers off. And then we have the 3 different blocks for the different appliques. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have enough of this white to do all 3, so the block in the middle is going to be slightly different. We're going to be having a Christmas table runner with a bit of a spring type feel to it. The next thing you want to do is position your pieces so that you can make sure you've got your little gnome or whatever you're making in the place where you think it looks the best and it's symmetrical or central. Now, what you want to do is, obviously, applique is layered, so you want to put the pieces that are behind on first and then build the design up to the bits that come on the top. And then it's just a case of doing the same with the other applique pieces. With your preferred fabric marking method, lift the design and put a mark in the centre of it. So you know where to put it back when you're ready to iron it down. The next bit is the tricky bit. What you're going to want to do is peel the backing paper off the wonder web. Now, this might be easy depending on how easy it is to get your fingernail under or rather between the fabric and the backing paper. You might find that a little bit more difficult the closer to the edge of the piece that you get, but it should just pull straight off. And you do that on all the pieces. The next thing that you want to do is grab yourself a tea towel or a pressing cloth and an iron. Okay, now the tea towel is protect the actual fabric, and all you need to do with the iron is just hold it on top for about 15 seconds in each place. You don't want to iron backwards and forwards, you literally just want to press it. There, you just give it a check, see how it's doing. If it's not stuck down properly, just give it a bit more of a press. Ta-da! And there you have it. That's how you use Wonder Under to keep your applique pieces still and in the place you want them, to give you a chance to actually stitch them down. In the next video in the series, I'll show you how to add all the 3 different blocks together to form your quilt top, how to do the quilt sandwich, and obviously how to bind it all together so it doesn't fall apart. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in seeing the next video or how about some of the other videos I've got on my channel? Remember to subscribe and click that little bell so YouTube can give you a notification when my next video goes live. Whatever video you go and check out next, I hope to see you back here for the next one. In the meantime, whatever you're sewing it with, embrace your creativity and have fun. Thank you ever so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.